Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another video. I have here beside me a box full of video games for various systems. I'm just going to reach into this box and pull the games out at random and show them to you. First up is a game that has to be an early release for the PlayStation. I figure that because it's in a long box. Now sometimes Sony used cardboard boxes for the long boxes, but at other times they used these giant jewel cases that Sega used for the Sega CD and the Sega Saturn in the US. Nova Storm. This is mostly complete. It has the discs and it has the manual in there. The only thing it's missing is the foam strip that goes right here. Sega used them also for the Sega CD and the Sega Saturn when they used these style cases, meant to reinforce the center of the jewel case so that it doesn't become crushed. Okay, this is a game for the PlayStation 2. Goblin Commander, Unleash the Horde. And this is complete. Sylvester and Tweety in Cagey Capers. This is for the Genesis. And in honor of the return of X-File 2708 to YouTube, I will say, complete with Wee Little Winky. That's a Wizard of Oz reference, but I originally had said many moons ago was complete with Wee Little Willie. And Marcus misheard me and thought I said Wee Little Winky, which makes more sense anyway. And I liked it better, so I adopted it. And he began using it, complete with Wee Little Winky, when he was doing his ads videos. And he was doing ads videos or pickup videos a lot back in the early days. A 16 meg cartridge. The largest cartridge I have for the Genesis is a 64 meg cartridge, and that is a homebrew game. And I'm sure those of you out there who have it know which one it is. I have it too, but I think it's Pure Solar. But sometimes I get confused and my mind goes flying off in different directions. In fact, that's a problem I frequently have with my mind. Okay, this is for the PSP. Race Driver 2006 from Codemasters. SteveBenways ought to appreciate this one. He loves racing games. Although I have no idea what his feelings are on this one. No manual. PlayStation 2 game. Tack and the Guardians of Gross. Or is it Gross? Anyway, if you're Swedish, you would pronounce it Talk. It's basically thanks or thank you. Talk. Anyway, I don't think that's the way they meant it to be pronounced. of this game. Okay, when we went to Game Over, my eldest daughter actually saw this, and she saw it within seconds of us going in the store. It was kind of, well, halfway back in the store, and it was way up high on the shelf. But she said, "Dad, I see ABBA for the Wii." ABBA, You Can Dance. Now, for those of you who already saw it, I also have the SingStar ABBA release, which was really hard for me to track down at a reasonable price. Every time I found it, which was not all that common, it was expensive. Now, I can't dance. You can't make me, because I'd fall down. But this has a karaoke mode in addition to the dance mode. In fact, there are several dance modes, but there's a karaoke section. And also, there's a music video section. And strangely, some of the songs, not all of the songs are represented in both groups. So you have some songs that are in the music video section that aren't in the karaoke section. Did I do that? Complete. This is one of the games I can get my daughters to play with me. Okay. Werewolf, The Last Warrior for the NES. Obviously, this is loose. No box or manual from the defunct Data East. At least I believe they're defunct. Okay, Dragon Power for the NES. My collection of games for the NES is getting to be rather huge, especially if you factor in homebrews. Okay, I don't know what that was doing in there. I found this in one of the rooms we were using for storage. A kid's guide to basic programming. I have a ton of books like this. But that's not an ad. I've had that for years. Okay, F-117 Nightstorm for the Genesis. No wee little winky on this one. It's been castrated. Kind of a cool cover there. And in the Electronic Arts style cartridges, which makes sense because it's from Electronic Arts. Okay, Hanamusha from Capcom on the PlayStation 2. Complete. I have a lot of 10-gen cartridges for the NES. Here is Gauntlet. Star Wars. Bit of peeling down here. But otherwise, it's acceptable. Just so happened that when I went in on this visit, Game Over had come in a whole stack of Atari Jaguar games. Tempest is the one I picked up. I don't know why I'm doing that. You probably can't see a thing. Okay, Dragon Warrior. Okay, Roadsters for the N64. I also have this for the Dreamcast, and I don't like it really. I thought I would give it a try on the N64. The Dreamcast version, the controls are rather funky. I have a hard time controlling my car on the Dreamcast version, but the Dreamcast has a ton of great racing games, and while most of the homebrews, if not all the homebrews that I've run across so far for the Genesis / Mega Drive have been RPGs, so far a lot of the homebrews that I've been finding for the Dreamcast have been racing games. Okay, Gradius. I've got lights on all over the place, but it looks dark. Another game from Data East. Karate Champ. Ace Combat 5. The Unsung War. For the PlayStation. I'm down for anything aviation, and I'm down for anything racing. And pinball sims. Although with pinball, I prefer to play the real thing. I'm starting to see more and more people playing pinball machines than I used to. Maybe that's a good sign. All you kiddies out there, you see a pinball machine, give it a try. Now, problem I run into, Chuck E. Cheese's anyway, they don't maintain their pinball machine very well, and it's constantly giving me problems. Okay, from VidTech, I have a number of their releases for the Atari 2600. This is Space Jockey. Made in Taiwan. This is release VC1001, division of US Games. Some of their cartridges say US Games, and some say VidTech. Go figure. Okay, for another game from Data East, Cobra Command for the NES. Another game for the Atari 2600, you use the paddle controllers on this game, and this was the first driving game I ever bought for any video game system. And as basic as it is, I would spend hours upon hours playing Night Driver. Okay, Crazy Taxi Fare Wars for the PSP. I have so many Crazy Taxis in my game collection for various systems. But I love Crazy Taxi, and some of the arcades at Walt Disney World in the resorts have the stand-up version of Crazy Taxi. But it's a game I really like. Crazy Taxi from Sega. Sega. Yeah, how'd that get in there? I, among many, many, many other things, collect bookmarks, whatever. This one's in 3D, although you probably can't tell. Hey, I'm a tourist, and I live here. I live in Florida. What you know about that? Okay. Wipeout Pure for the PSP. I have a number of Wipeout games also for various systems. Although I don't think I have as many variations of it as I do Crazy Taxi. This is complete. It even has the registration card. Do people register games anymore? I don't know. Okay. I think it was SteveBenways that did a video on this one. I have the deluxe version for the 32X. This version will not run on the 32X, even though the vast majority of Genesis games will, but this one won't. This is the Genesis version of Virtua Racing. As I said, it was also released as Virtua Racing Deluxe for 32X. And that is a really cool game. No manual. But the cartridge is in really nice shape, if you can see it well enough. Oh, I forgot. Complete with Wee Little Winky. Another game for the Nintendo 64. Beetle Adventure Racing. And finally, for the PlayStation, Celebrity Deathmatch. Complete, of course. Now, these were picked up during 2 different trips to Game Over. This does not include the DVDs that I picked up. Well, the receipt includes the DVDs that I picked up, as well as the games for my kids that they picked out, and the DVDs that my wife picked out. But on this trip we spent $125.52, and we have a discount card. And this trip, $155.05. But there are a lot of games in here that are my kids' games, so I didn't pay nearly $300 for what I just showed you. Okay, until next time, stay awesome. When they use these style cases, meant to reinforce the center of the jewel case so that it doesn't become crushed. Okay, this is a game for the PlayStation 2. Goblin Commander, Unleash the Horde. Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another video. I have here beside me a box full of video games for various systems. I'm just going to reach into this box and pull the games out at random and show them to you. First up is a game that has to be an early release for the PlayStation. I figure that because it's in a long box. Now sometimes Sony used cardboard boxes for the long boxes, but at other times they used these giant jewel cases that Sega used for the Sega. That's a Wizard of Oz reference, but I originally had said many moons ago, well, it's complete with wee little Willie. And Marcus misheard me and thought I said wee little Winky, which makes more sense anyway. And I liked it better, so I adopted it. And he began using it, complete with wee little Winky, when he was doing his ads videos. And he was doing ads. And this is complete. Sylvester and Tweety in KT Capers. This is for the Genesis. And in honor of the return of X-File 2708 to YouTube, I will say, complete with wee little Winky. Sega CD and the Sega Saturn in the US. Nova Storm. This is mostly complete. It has the discs and it has the manual in there. The only thing it's missing is the foam strip that goes right here. Sega used them also for the Sega CD and the Sega Saturn.